Centric. Hi. How is everybody this evening? I hope you guys are doing okay. My name is Sher. I'm an intuitive. Most of you here know me. Hi, Rachel. What's the banana for? Is it because, you saw the short about the bananas. More bananas. What the heck? It's great to have you. This is supposed to be a members meeting, but I may have messed it up. And if I did, it's okay. It's a moon. Oh, okay. Clearly, I thought it was a banana. I'm so sorry. I think it's because I keep ordering bananas from Amazon and I order one bunch and I get a lot of bananas. Like I had to give bananas away. And now there's 12 bananas in my kitchen. I am live. Oh, True Colors. I didn't pray for you last night. I feel so bad. It was so crazy in there. Yes. Can you guys hear me and all? Is everything good? Now that's a banana. I get it now. No, you're not. Sher botched it up. Okay, so this is. I was trying to make it a members only. It's a new platform. I'm not used to it. You're fine. It's okay. It's just going to be a bonus for everybody today. I'm not really reading. I am talking on signs of spiritual awareness and what happens during spiritual awakening and all those things. So this is like a members class. So it'll help you. It'll help you get your feet in the water. Help you, see what it's like. That way, if you were wondering about a members class, now you'll know. Okay. So that's pretty easy. I like that. Okay. I'm not bothered about you guys showing up. I don't think the members are either. And we had a great today. Okay. I want to know, does anybody feel kind of displaced today? Like it's, I don't know the energy feels different today. Let me know if you feel if I'd be good to get my chair straight, if the energy feels different to you today. I guess. Okay, so if you're joining me late, my name is Sher. This is normally a members only meeting, but I messed it up, and so we're gonna turn that into a benefit, like we should with all of life, and just say it's an invite to let you know what a members meeting is like. Voila. So here's my thing, and there must be a reason for it. There's always a reason, right? Okay, so if you want to book a reading, my QR code is in the top corner, or QR whatever. Feel free to scan it. It will take you to my website. Okay, so first of all, today we're going to talk about spiritual awakening and how it's not just I always thought spiritual awakening was just snap, you're awake. No, that is not how it works. It's actually kind of comes in with a whisper. It's real subtle at first. And then you start to notice things, okay? You start to notice things. Even when you're busy, you'll be like, was that a sign? Was I supposed to pay attention to that? Things like that, right? So what that is called is heightened awareness. A lot of us, when we're having a spiritual awakening, we get heightened awareness. Now, heightened awareness is, it comes in many shapes and forms. It's okay. So it's almost like, let's say, you know how you have study notes in a book? If you're in school books or whatever, if they still have study notes, it's like that extra little note under the book, I guess. Okay, so a lot of times that heightened awareness will result in seeing repetitive numbers, repetitive symbols. You'll get these nudges that'll feel like, was that a sign? I get those frequently. And then God's like, yes, Sher, it's a sign. So uh, if you ask yourself the question, was that a sign? It probably was a sign. Okay. So that's something to think about. There's that song again, something to think about. Wow. Okay. Something to talk about. That message keeps coming up. I don't know who that's for. Okay. Also, so pay attention to the nudges when you get them. All right. And a lot of you may find out that in the midst of the spiritual awakening, I see you, Anita. In the midst of the spiritual awakening, you also find that you may be very empathic. You may start picking up on other people's feelings around you, or you may go places that highly affect you. Mine was Mother Cabrini's shrine. I was in the little church, and whew, it was overload. I found myself splashing holy water on my face and getting out of there as quick as possible. But at the time, I did not know I was that empathic. And it was like, I remember that day and just feeling an overwhelming, almost illness because it was too much. And there are, yes, and that's like one of the starts, the repetitive numbers, Natalie. Sometimes it's just too much. It's too much to handle. And that's when, when you feel that, like if you have that sick feeling or something, that's usually an indication to remove yourself from the situation or from the person. It's always like it's just it's a thing. It's so beautiful. Okay. Also, so those are just a few things. You start to notice things. Seriously, you can walk through a thrift store and see a sign and be like, oh, that's my sign, or you feel energy coming towards you. For me, I feel energy when it's coming towards me. Usually God is like, hey, I'm sending somebody. And I'm like, what? Because I'm like, no, I just want to look at the books. I just want to look at the books. And God's like, no, I don't think so. And then I'll feel the energy coming towards me. And I'll be like, okay, I get it. I get it. It's my job. Okay. So it's that kind of awareness. It's also, it can be a deep knowing, like setting up on your couch and going, oh, and knowing that the message you just received, hi, Manny, the message you just received is the message that you're meant to receive, and knowing that that is a real and true message. I've had that happen a few times in my life, and usually when those things happen, those have been messages that are so serious, like people passing away, things like that. And those kind of messages are different. For those of you that are on the spiritually awakening path, those messages are more, and keep in mind everybody's different, but those messages are different as in the aspect of it. Like for me, they're stronger. They're stronger messages. It's just like, oh my Lord, because it's like you get the message. I use my mom as an example. I was sitting on my couch. I heard the message, you have 48 hours. Your mom is going to pass in 48 hours. My mom did pass in 48 hours. I'm great, Manny. The thing about that is, how can I put this? The way it's presented, sometimes you just have a deep knowing that there's like no question about it. Okay. So that is the first step in spiritual awakening. It's not always the first step that happens, but it is one of the steps. And that's the heightened awareness step. The next step we're going to talk about is like, all of a sudden you have a dissatisfaction with the old. Okay. This can be like old friendships. Yeah, it does. I think when you get the deep knowing, Natalie, and guys, if you just joined us, this is a members class, but I put it under the wrong category. That's fine. It's just a bonus for non-members. That way you can see what goes on in the member classes too. So welcome. You're encouraged to make comments. It's not a reading class. It's really a spiritual awakening class. Okay. Yeah. The deep knowing seems like when it is, those messages are usually very deep, very serious. A lot of those messages are usually about death or passing away or a warning. Like a lot of times it's a warning, like put your seatbelt on, you're fixing to be in a wreck. And that happens. It does, truly does. Okay, so the second thing is like you get dissatisfied with things, jobs, relationships, habits, maybe a belief system. uh it's not that things in your life are failing. It's that like you're starting to outgrow those things. It can be something as simple as I love carbonated water. I love the flavor of it. It's great. And but for me, I'm on the second floor. It's kind of a pain, blah, blah, blah. And I kept getting the message, drink water, drink more water. So I started filling a jug in my refrigerator and putting cold water in it. Now I almost crave that cold water, but it's healthy and I don't have to drag everything up the steps. So sometimes the messages can be really simple, and some of those messages can simply be like a dissatisfaction that you feel with your life. For example, when I finally got out of a bad relationship, there were things, the freedoms I got back that I did not have in that relationship. I could not wear perfume, and now I can wear perfume if I want. I could not have candles, and that was a fair argument because it was an older place. But now I can have candles. If I wanted to watch TV, I had to listen with headphones. Now, now I can play it as loud as I want, as long as I don't bother my neighbors. So a lot of times with this dissatisfaction of the old and the new coming in, you'll notice that not just things change, but you have freedoms, freedoms that you had not had before. And yeah, so you understand. But then these are like the little gifts that God gives back to you. You're like, Manny, you can wear perfume now, you know. But you get the picture. These are gifts, and part of these gifts are like the gift of reclaiming yourself, coming back to you, to yourself, to a place of being, to not needing someone else to validate you, simply having you validate yourself and your connection with the divine. Okay, so then so we have number one, we have heightened awareness. And for those of you that are joining me, we may do this in a two-part class because I try to keep these classes under 20 minutes. And I do leave them on the site so that you can go back and look at them. It's pretty informal here in the first stage of the classroom. All right. But okay, so we have heightened awareness, dissatisfaction with the old, and like I said, that can be old relationships, old jobs, old habits. A lot of old things can pass out of your life. Like I used to be a redhead. I am not a redhead anymore. Now I have Samson here. Where is Noah when I need him to make a joke? Okay. Also, you start to purge things. The third thing that happens in the midst of a spiritual awakening is you start purging things. What do you purge? Everything. No, seriously, you truly do purge a lot, right, Anita? I know you can, I feel like you can relate with that. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. um, Here's a good one. Emotions. Like you might be sitting somewhere looking at a whole bunch of pictures of something in your past, and you might feel waves of emotions just depending on the events around that situation. Okay, or you might have flashbacks. I was in a movie the other day, and I'm not easily triggered, but a guy went to hit a woman, and I haven't had that happen. I never had that. And I had a flashback, and I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I was with a very kind person, and they got me out of there. Um, but then afterwards, and this goes with the next thing on the purging, is like, then you have like a desire to understand yourself or to heal yourself. Why did that trigger me? Why did that make me go from sitting straight up in my chair to being under the blanket or my shawl in the theater? Why did it do that? And it's like, okay, clearly there's some things I haven't healed from. I try, Anita, I try. But the thing that happens is when you have things like that happen, hopefully you have someone around you that operates in love. And I did. I was very blessed. And also, you have those experiences for a reason. Sometimes it's simply to remind you that that place you're thinking of going with those rose colored glasses never existed. You know, it can be something as simple as that. Like, hey, let's get back to reality. That little fairy tale relationship that you're saying was a fairy tale may not have been a fairy tale. It might have been your dark night of the soul. It might have been that thing that took you down to zero. And a lot of times, for this spiritual awakening, for our journey, we do. We go back down to zero. Okay. And but you know what? Then the only place to go is up, right? 4 years isolation. Wow, I thought it was 4 days, and it happens. Mine, I was lucky. Mine was 2 months or so, and there was a lot of talk. There was a lot of talk between me and the divine. You know, and that was really that particular. And I'm thankful. It wasn't an experience I would want to repeat, but I'm thankful that I had it so that I was able to move on with my life and learn from it. And because I would, if I had not had that experience, I would not be here today on this YouTube channel trying to help others who've had similar experiences or want to live in a higher vibration. Also, you know me, I love to promote the sharing of peace and love in the world. Okay. So, yes, we go through those experiences, but those experiences are, here's an example. Manny, I tell you, God puts you in the fire, he pulls you out, right? Uh, and what happens, Manny? Every time you've been put in the fire, what's happened? You've been pulled out every time. Every time you were put in that fire, you were pulled out. And that's how good God is, okay? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Read the story if you have not. Also, um, excuse me, spirit kicking in. Job, the story of Job. Guys, there's some amazing stories in the Bible. And God, yes, Natalie, it's a very profound truth, and this is a very informal learning environment. Uh, oh, you're welcome. Yes, and now you are strong. Um, yeah, remember those things. Prayer is huge, guys. Today I didn't get a lot done. Honestly, I was tired. I was like, I'm tired. And Job is Job. It's like job. And it's a very gorgeous, profound story. It's in the Bible, in the story of Job. Um, this will ring true for some of you. God, basically, the devil asks for Job, and God gives Job to the devil. Okay, and the devil does his very best to wreak havoc on Job's life. Okay, and it's a great, it's a great, it's a great story. But my favorite part of Job is at one point, and we all do this, we all question God. Ooh, there's been some moments. Are you sure? You know, that kind of thing. But we all question the divine at some point in our life. And Job did the same thing. He did what we would have done, what any of us would have done. Why have you left me? You know, and God came down hard on Job, okay? He was like, excuse me? Serious, this is my take, but I want you to read it and we'll talk about it further. Feel free to bring it back up next time we meet. That God is like, excuse me, have you met me? Seriously, that's what this story reminds me of. Like, have you met me? Yes. And God was like, who are you to question me? I am the creator of the universe. I make the waves in the ocean. I make the sun come up in the morning. Okay. So a lot of times there's a method to this, and we're going to probably cut it off here because this is a short class. I try to keep my classes under 10 to 20 minutes for those of you so that you can, uh, keep going on in your life and get some spiritual enlightenment at the same time or listen to me in the background. But that's the thing. Who are we to question God? And that's a big one. Okay. Uh, Yes, it's very natural, Manny, to say, God, why did you let that happen? Why did you do that to me? But what I want to tell you, and this is probably we're going to leave it here today. And thank you guys for your patience with the membership channel. And for those of you that got in here today, I'm happy you got here. Consider becoming a member later. If it's a serious hardship, send me an email and we'll see what we can fix. Okay, so remember, who are we to question God? And the other thing is, God has a plan. We may not. Thank you, Anita. That's so sweet. We may not know the plan, and we may not see it. If somebody had told me March of 2024, when I was homeless that day, that God had a plan, do you know what I would have said? Where's the plan? I'm not seeing it, right? But that was my timing. That was my timing. That was not divine timing. Jeremiah 29:11. I know the plans I have for you. I love it. I had a neighbor across the hall. His name was Jeremiah. When I met him, I was like, you know the plans you have for me. It was like that kind of message, Anita. So I'm sure you get it. All right, guys, I am. Oh, my Lord, it's almost midnight and I'm waking up. So welcome for those of you who got to join the members class. I'm really happy you're here. I probably will go live here shortly and do some readings. I really don't know where I'm going today. It's Sunday and it's been a very busy week, and I appreciate the heck out of all of you. Remember, when you get up tomorrow, don't look at your phone immediately. These are some helpful hints for starting your morning off. Don't look at your phone immediately unless you just really have to. If you're a parent, I get it. You know, I always want to know your kids are okay. Also, before you get out of bed, thank God, give Him gratitude, our source, the divine, for those things that you have, and the things that aren't even tangible, the things you can't touch, the discernment, the clarity, the ability to pray, the ability to tap in to the divine, to the Most High, the ability to start living that high vibrational life and get to where we're going. Manny, when you see something like that, look it up. Look up Hebrew. See, a lot of times there is a message. Hi, Robin. So I will probably go live here in a little while for readings. Please don't hold me to that. But this is our spiritual awakening class here. We've covered the first 3 phases of spiritual awakening, some of them: heightened awareness, dissatisfaction with the old, things falling away, and then purging. And that could be in the same way, but this purging feels more like the purging of emotions, letting those things go that do not serve you anymore. All right. Thank you, Natalie. I appreciate it. Great to see you, Robin. I'll see you guys back here later. Please go share some peace and love. And thank you. Thank you so much. You make me happy. I feel like I'm channeling that song. I know this is my mother. Okay, I channel a song. My mom used to sing this song all the time. You are my sunshine. And she would sing it. And she sang around my children. And when I'm watching a reader, when that song comes out, I know she's there. I'm like, okay, I know you're here. All right, guys, that's what I have for you. I'll see you later. Please go share the peace and love. Thank you so much. Thank you, Zach.